Hello, and welcome to the Rojan Kim cast. It's me, Rojan Kim. Thank you for joining me today, May 4th. May 4th. I guess it's Star Wars Day because they say May the 4th be with you, which I think it's dumb. I think that's dumb. I honestly don't think that's good. How dare you take the day before Cinco de Mayo, like basically, essentially upstage the Mexican army's victory over the French army with Star Wars, you know? And Star Wars it's great. It's a great movie, or was a great series. I don't know now. I didn't even see the last Star Wars. From what I heard, it was not that great. In fact, I've been hearing rumors that the coronavirus was created by Disney as a way to make people forget about the last Star Wars, just to make just make it go away. They're like in cahoots with China. It was actually a deal. They told China, okay, we'll get rid of poo. We'll get rid of poo if you unleash the bat virus. And they were like, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it. They shook hands on it. The mouse and the house of Xi. They shook on it, and there you go. Actually, was that? I think that was actually in the South Park. Maybe I'm just remembering an episode of South Park. I can't tell anymore. Isn't that funny? Isn't that something? We just can't tell if we're in an episode of, it's like The Simpsons or South Park, or where it's like fact is definitely stranger than fiction, right? Um, I mean, including the people who are supposed to be telling us what the facts are, like the news, they're just purveyors of more. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's outright fiction. Sometimes it is. I mean, we don't have to talk about recent news. Let's go to Gulf of Tonkin, right? Vietnam War, proving that the Gulf of Tonkin was largely fabricated, and press didn't do anything about that. I mean, it took Daniel Ellsberg leaking the Pentagon Papers to make that a thing. By then, the war had been going on for 10 years, 9 years. I don't know, some shit like that. Anyways, why am I talking about? Why am I talking about this? What I want to talk about is Orange County. Let's talk about something more pleasant. Enough of this coronavirus talk. Enough of this doom and gloom. I want to talk about the heroes of Orange County. Thank you, Orange County, for doing what it is you do, which is love freedom. Okay? Because Orange County has always been about freedom. You know why? Because Orange County would not be possible without white flight. Okay? So that's it. There in the very essence of where Orange County comes from is the idea of frightened white people fleeing the cities, fleeing the dark, and brown and yellow days and nights of the city to the outer safe suburbs. Oh, so safe the suburbs were. And they then, of course, back then, before desegregation, had housing authorities where they enforced residential segregation. They enforced it, put it in the rules. Can't live here if you're black. Basically, that's why LA is so segregated. A lot of people who have come here in the recent years, they have no idea that they just think LA is this paradise and like, wow, everything's so great. But they have no idea of the residential segregation past that LA has. That's why black people all live south, right, in South Central or whatever. It used to be south of Central Avenue. Central Avenue used to be hotspot, big, not on fire, you racist. Hotspot as in like culturally. It used to be like a place where jazz was in the 50s actually. Jazz going on, a lot of beatniks, smoking dope, listening to that devil jazz music, right? And that was God damn it, name of the chief of police, I can't remember his name, but he militarized the LAPD and cracked down on these hippies. They cracked down on them hanging out with black people and listening to jazz and smoking weed because that's dangerous. You understand that? It was dangerous back then. And now it's still dangerous. But for other reasons. Back then it was to stop miscegenation, I guess. Now it's to stop the coronavirus. But Orange County has put their foot to Orange County and said, you know what? We don't see the data. I don't really know what they're seeing. I'm imagining I always imagine the best, and so maybe that's not what I should be doing. Perhaps Orange County is literally just some kind of Trump-tarded person who's like, my foot, nah, it's just a hoax and the flu, and I'm gonna get out there. Which, but I highly doubt. Orange County, I told you it's white flight. It's capital. They fled the inner cities, to buy up all the real estate outside surrounding it, right? Um, Orange County has typically been red, but more like very establishment red. Southern California is very establishment in terms of, in a lot of ways, politically, very establishment Democrat or establishment Republican. There's, of course, the fringe. The fringe is there, not to say, but I'm just talking about who has power. And also, just in terms of, I think, how like I grew up in LA, and especially the Valley, which I guess is particularly the basic part of LA. Well, LA proper is sort of the center, the city, right? It's not really a real city, but it's just this area, and then surrounded by suburban sprawl. Just rings and rings of suburban sprawl around the center, and LA County or LA, yeah, just what we call LA County, sort of spread and encompassed all these different communities that sprung up that were actually escaping LA. Now they're kind of like part of LA. And then a big struggle in the 70s was that those communities they didn't want to pay taxes to those people living in the city. You know what I'm saying? They want to pay, but at the same time, they were glad to accept the municipalities and the roads and, of course, all that stuff, public works, all that stuff that everybody pays into equally. They just didn't want those kids getting it, So they ended up getting themselves a sweet little 1978 Prop 13, I think it's called. They passed themselves, the voters of California, because we have this proposition system. Pretty sweet. It's also pretty crazy, but they made it so that you just can't raise taxes on people. You just can't raise. I think Schwarzenegger actually did away with it, but for the longest time, you couldn't raise property taxes unless there was like a 2/3 majority in the Senate. So basically, no taxes were being raised at all, property-wise, which would be great for the people of Orange County. Huh? They benefited from that, yeah. And honestly, Schwarzenegger, the Republican governor, was the one who came. I guess maybe it kind of makes sense though. Maybe it takes a Republican to do the Republican thing in that moment, which is not necessarily to raise taxes, but to because if you think about it, artificially holding down the tax is just as manipulative, right, as raising the tax up or whatever. It's just like it should just be where it should be instead of artificially being put down. What do I know though? I don't know anything about. I'm never gonna own a home, so I don't know anything. But I just know that when I think OC, the OC. Thank you, OC. There was a surfer protest in Laguna Beach, bro, and that was cool. See, that's like they're not. I'd love to see what the narrative. Are you saying that there's a Trump supporting surfer? Bro, we really gotta do something about it. Yeah, immigration, bro. Yeah, bro. Actually, that's like my friend Jared Lev. Not that he's a Trump supporter, but that he's actually highly versed in geopolitics while being a surfer bro, half Filipino, half Jewish surfer bro. He was probably out there. You know what I mean? He was probably one of the guys. So, anyways, Orange County's always been about freedom, right? Remember the OC credits? Remember the OC, the show? I just remember the credits because that's the only part of the show I ever watched. But it spoke of freedom. It was a view of Southern California, unlike any other. Just the houses and the sunlight and the strip malls. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, it's. I would never. I'm so glad I don't live in Orange County. I'm just glad I don't. I don't. I mean, I'm horrified I'm living in LA right now, honestly. But I'm glad that I'm not living outside of Orange County, or in Orange County. But I have to give it to them. I have to give it to Orange County right? For opening up the open mics, opening up their businesses, opening up the open mics, letting us send the canaries into the joke mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if I was single, I'd probably be there right now. I mean, if I was single, I'd probably be doing it. If I was single and I didn't have anybody, if I didn't care about anybody in my life, I'd probably be doing it. But unfortunately, I do care about people and people in my life, and I want to. I'm like an early adopter type, or like an early avoidant. You know what I mean? When new shit comes out, I don't adopt it right away. I wait. I just watch and see what the adopters do because God bless them. Let them stand in line. Let them go get it. Let them get it. Let's see what happens. I think um, we need the brave souls. Look, back in the day when we were cave people or hunter gatherers, there were the brave souls who would eat the things that were mysterious and that could either I feel like it's either three things, right? It could either be bad for you, inedible to poisonous, right? Edible, or a drug, right? I feel like those are sort of the three. And those people were shamans, you know what I'm saying? And so I say that these people are shamans, the ones heading out, doing comedy for the sake of comedy, doing it with other open micers, all potentially sick, probably have it already, but they're fine. And I think that's really the important thing is that they're fine. Okay, they're gonna be fine. At least we'll see. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, TikTok. That's what we get to see. So everybody who's going out there, opening up, doing your thing, getting out there. God bless you. God bless you. Because I don't poo-poo that. I don't believe in judging people. Listen, I went out with Rami, walking the dog, ran into a friend. Okay, our friend Anya. She's pregnant. She has a dog too. We're hanging. We're just in enough. We were okay. We had masks. We had masks. I didn't have a mask. We were there, and we were there. We were there. We were outside. It was fine. Okay, we weren't like fucking hugging. We weren't hugging. We were talking. And then this lady comes out of her house with her husband. She walks by and she goes, "Cute dogs, cute. You know, I like the dogs. I don't like the way you guys aren't distancing, but you know." I just ignored the lady. I just ignored the lady because first of all, I just wanted to be like, lady, you're the one at risk. You should be get your fucking you should get your ass away from us is what you should do. The other thing is that clearly 6 feet isn't enough distance to keep your nose out of our business. Booyah, Karen! Alright, I should have just started yelling Karen. Fuck you, Karen! Fuck you, Karen! That I'm not there yet. I'm swinging the kettlebell. I'm up to 70, up to 70 swings, and I feel like I'm getting out some energy. Gotta get out the energy that way, So, anyways, Orange County. Just to finish off what I was saying about Orange County is that I think yes, it is a place of freedom, and I think it proves it's a place where anybody can be white, and I think that's what the Orange County is in ways encapsulating the American dream, right? Because it's very diverse now, but all those motherfuckers are white as fuck. That is suburban. It's suburban. There's a lot of Asians out there. There's a lot of Indians, and they are so hard because they're not white, But god damn it, they all grew up in the suburbs, man. They're white as shit. They're white as shit, and they're just God bless them though. But that's America. That's the beauty of America. See, that's what we have to all trying to understand. What we're all striving to understand is that America is a place. Yes, it was a place founded by slave owners who wanted to be free, white men, racist white men who had these slaves, but they had this freedom thing, and they're like, maybe the future or whatever. They kind of kick the can, but they let the can be kicked and let there be a can. Some places don't have a can. This is the thing. Some places don't have a can at all. No can. No can for kicking. No. You're gonna have to burn everything down. Okay, that's how you kick the can in other places. But at least here, they're like, you know what? We'll put a little release valve. Good, we could put an amendment. Stop, later in 100 years there's a war and they stop the slavery, and look at us now 100 years later. 100 years later they had the Jim Crow, and now here we are approaching another 100 years, and will we be okay? Sure. That's supposed to be after the singularity. We should be fine. Okay? Anybody can be white in America. OC encapsulates that. And those open mics, God bless them. I saw Don Barris, Brian Callen. I was like, uh, national headliners signing up for open mics because in the end, that's just all we are. We're just sick people, man. We're just sick people. It doesn't matter if you're a fucking millionaire, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're fucking just starting out. It doesn't matter if you're 30 years in and fucking just need a spot. You know, you paid for the spot. You're gonna pay for the spot. Okay? We're all the same. We'll do it. We'll come. That's what I'm telling you. I've seen headliners. You know, guys that that I've known back in the day. Or fucking, you should be on a jet or some shit. You know, hitting up open mics, paying the money or buying the drink or whatever. It's pathetic. Just kidding. I'm kidding. That's gonna be me. No, that's me realizing. Oh, that's me. That's me. I just accept it. It's not sad. It is what it is. You know what's sad? Not doing it. Not doing it, and then being like, I could have done it. I should have done it. And, if I did do it, I'd be good at it. That's sad. All right. Anyways, um, that brings me to enough about the OC. Thank you. I wanted to talk today about this book I'm reading. It's called. I didn't bring the book. No, because I wasn't gonna start reading from it. That's not what this is about. Okay, I'll do my book report later. But I'm reading the book. It's called The Crowd, and it's a study of the popular mind. It was written in the fucking 1890s. I'll have a more thorough. Okay, I'll have a more. This isn't a book report, like I said. But anyways, it's a book that I saw cited a lot, called The Crowd, and it's about crowd psychology. And it's before World War One. I mean, it's actually fascinating to read about this shit because this is before technology. It's before the fucking modern world, really, as we know it. Yet a lot of the principles, I could see them applying. The other thing that's funny is that it's written by this French dude, and it's super racist in the way that people were back then. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if someone went through it, they drag him on Twitter and try to cancel him or whatever. But it's just back then, race was like a real thing. It was like a science race, because a lot of things are attributed to race in terms of crowd behavior or and a lot of that is conflated with, I think, culture and circumstance. So whatever. Fundamental attribution error. You remember that thing? Do you remember that thing? I talked about it. It's a thing in psychology where, as an observer, when you see somebody do something, you are more likely to attribute whatever they do to some kind of fundamental characteristic, like it's their character. If you see a guy falling on the street, you say to yourself, that guy's clumsy, right? But if you're the guy falling on the street, you're not like, I'm clumsy. Usually you're like, that fucking thing made me fall. You know what I mean? So that's, and it's a similar thing where you like blame others, right? When you blame others for failures and you take the credit for yourself when you have success. You know what I mean? Same thing. Fundamental attribution error, And that thing is also something that happens, I think, writ large, right? So I feel like I'm reading about that Crowd. A couple episodes ago, I was talking about just how like I was saying just about this market behavior, crowd behavior, group psychology, right? It made me think of Century of the Self. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. Talked about that in a previous podcast. I think it was the one where I took acid with Caleb on on Rockaway Beach. Yeah. And then we ended up watching Century of the Self. Anyway, Century of the Self, look it up. It's really good. I think you could just find it on YouTube. It's like a BBC documentary. It's all about Freud's nephew? Yeah, Freud's nephew, who started one of the first PR firms in America, and really just Bernays, Edward Bernays, and he just kind of got the whole thing going. He got women smoking with this whole like liberty, lighting torches for freedom campaign. He hired these like hot models and created a fake press conference. And this was back in the day before people were that media savvy. This guy kind of came along and was like, okay, what if I hired like 4 hot girls wearing those like flapper skirts, smoking cigarettes, holding a press conference, and then when the press is all like, what are you doing here, girls? They'll be like, we're lighting torches for liberty. You know what I mean? Like that, and then extra, extra, read all about it. Women, feminists, Disney brats lighting torches for freedom. Like whatever. Like whatever they did back in the 20s. Anyways, it took off. It took off like wildfire. Torches for freedom. Women started smoking because they never did. And then just grew. You just grew your market share, doubled it. Genius, genius. Was so manipulative. Also perhaps the devil. But depending on your perspective. But anyways, I highly recommend Century of the Self. So Century of the Self got me interested in a lot of things because I have a psychological background in the fact that I'm crazy. No, and I did study psychology in school. I did study it, but the reason I studied it because of my fucked up childhood, which I think is most people in psychology, anyways. You end up thinking you're molested and you might have been. I might have been. I don't know. So, anyways, The Crowd. Started reading it. It's kind of cool, and I was talking about how obviously comedy, crowd, markets, stuff. Good stuff. People are saying the markets are gonna crash. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? May. People say sell in May and go away. What do you think? Has there ever been the Fed unleashed on the markets? Here's the thing: is I guess apparently the majority of the trading going on in the markets are these just like bots, giant algorithm bots, just imagine whales, giant whale. They just move the markets, they fucking move them. And one of the things they probably do is they hunt stops. They're probably hunting stops so like if you're a retail person like me, like just some loser who isn't really like a trader, professionally, but is just doing it with a little bit of money. Perfect to just take care. They'll take our pennies. They'll take them. They'll take them. They'll take your little dollars. They'll take them all. You think they don't mind? They do. Because all those dollars add up. There's millions of us. And all those little pennies and dollars fucking add up. So they have these giant bots just like, and they're hunting. One of the ways you trade is you set something called stop loss, right? Which is like you enter a trade and you put in an order in the opposite direction and you say, okay, if it gets to here, I'm out because I don't want to lose any more than this, right? And so just imagine then what you have are these institutions who command lots of capital, but then also have these algorithms basically go around hunting those stops, like looking for it, because they have the money basically to just be like move the market in that direction, just take out everybody's stops, because that's each other. It's actually more like institutions versus individuals. That's sort of more the factions, or really overall bulls versus bears, right? Just the idea of people thinking it goes up, people thinking it goes down, okay? And there's robots on each side, right? And there's individuals riding those robots on each side, and it's just kind of like I'm trying to be like one of those little remoras in the sea with the shark, where the sharks and the whales do stuff, and you just kind of latch on, and you just it's more for the ride, but you probably get squashed if I really expose myself and put all my money in the markets, then I'd just die. I'd be wiped out, and it would be nothing. It wouldn't even matter. It would be a blip, just a blip, just like a pebble going into the ocean, right? But if I was one of these fucking cash machines, just one of these burr bots, if I was in there, just fucking, oh god, what would I do? I would just come in. I think that's what people do in crypto, right? That's what they say. Like, I would just come in. Okay, let's just say I just would have like, if I was a billionaire, I would just set aside, let's say like 100 million, okay, just to play within the markets, all right? And I would take that 100 million and at times just do stupid things like just buy $10 million worth of just drive the price, and then fucking drive it to drive. But why? Why would I do that? Just for fun? I mean, I would think that there are probably some people who are so wealthy that it doesn't matter how much money they lose in markets if they set aside just an amount that doesn't matter if they lose all of it. That 100 million, they could make that back tomorrow, so they can lose that. But it gives them pleasure probably to be wiping out everybody underneath them, because it gives them a sense of superiority. I mean, if I can just imagine this, not even having the resources, I'm pretty sure there's people out there that do this, okay? there's no way, because some money in the end doesn't make you feel better about yourself, right? You got all the shit in the world, all the stuff in the world, and none of that is actually making you feel good. You know what makes you feel good? Squashing other people. That's what makes you feel. You know what makes you feel like better when you. What makes you feel good inside is when you reduce other people and push them below you. That's tried and true. And you're telling me that people aren't doing that? I can see that happening. Listen, people are like, listen to Warren Buffett, right? And Warren Buffett just sold all of their airline stocks. So they listen to the guy. Meanwhile, just before this, he bought a bunch of oil stuff, which I guess, if you think about it, it's not a bad thing. He couldn't see the coronavirus coming. And given what the rebound is probably going to be like, it's probably a good thing to have a bunch of oil. But at the same time, the guy speaks and the market listens, right? Is that what we want? Is that just like Elon Musk saying his stock is overvalued, and sending the prices down? Like, is that what we want? Is that what we need? Is that? But I don't know. Maybe it is what it is. Is that the thing? If we ever evolved into a board-like state, would that mean the death of the markets? Would that mean the death of comedy? Because comedy also functions on not only crowd psychology, but subversion of expectation, just surprise, a lot of things that you have to have in order for everybody to also react in unison to something unexpected. All right? Um, so, if we were, I guess, purely logical, all of that would just be good. But then would we have truly infinite growth, or would we just kind of have like, would we be called ranging? Would we be ranging, just kind of going up and down a little bit, nothing too high? That kind of makes sense, right? If you were some kind of logical Vulcan-like robot species, probably wouldn't like keep climbing and climbing and climbing. You'd probably keep it to some equilibrium. Maybe, I don't know. What the fuck am I talking about? What am I talking about? I don't know. I'm talking about freedom, baby. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about America. And I saw online, dude, Donald Trump was like, I for one am glad that Kim Jong Un is okay. I just think it's hilarious. I know it's not everybody's mad at Trump, and I get it, but I see it. And this guy fucking tweeted Trump was like, whoa, why don't we just say congratulations to Hitler or whatever? Basically made a comparison between Kim Jong Un and Hitler, and then I had to be like, come on, slow down, buddy, slow down, all right? This is me. I'm a Korean guy. I'm a Korean descendant of people affected by the Korean War. Kim Jong Un's family has probably kidnapped my family. They might even be in the family. I might be a relative. I don't know. Okay? My family hides everything. So I have no idea. But what I do know that it's a bit of a stretch. Okay? To call Kim I don't who are you calling Hitler? Kim Jong Un? Kim Jong Il? Kim Il Sung? You don't even know who Kim Il Sung is. You don't even know who Kim Il Sung is, and yet you're. So, anyways, that was my response because it was just some journalist guy who loves to. Because journalism has just become a roast battle against Trump. That's all journalism is now. There's no attempt to tell the truth or attempt to inform the public anymore. It's just a roast battle with Trump. That's all they're scoring points. Fuck you, Trump. Even now, Don Lemon is trending because he was like, why do you hate Barack Obama? Is it because he was black? Is it because he didn't have his dad? Is it because he did this? And people are like, ooh, whoa, like it matters. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don Lemon, why aren't you trying to help us out of this crisis? Why don't you go to the good town of Orange County and see for yourself? See for yourself. Instead of calling them racist retards, why don't you go down there and see for yourself, right? The joy and the laughter, life, right? And you're saying that these people are killing everybody. They're living life. Or they might be catching corona, but they might be fine. That's how uncertainty works. And shouldn't you, as a journalist, Don Lemon, be out there helping us navigate through that uncertainty instead of playing the dozens with fucking Trump or fucking, I don't know, playing your mama. Your mom's so fat. How fat is she? I mean, come on. Come on, everybody. Come on, Lemon. Come on, people. Pull yourselves together. Okay. Oh god, you want the Great Depression 2.0 because we're getting it. Okay, it's good time, great times. Anyways, I guess I'll wrap it up with a little bit of talk about. I wanted to just talk about the idea of scientific the scientific method versus scientific consensus, right? Because I think there's a lot of talky talk about science going on. People are like, believe the experts, believe all women, believe the experts. Okay, that's kind of funny, right? The people who told us to believe all women are now telling us to believe the experts. Well, I'm just writing that down. Sorry for the pause, because there's something there. All I can do now, all I do now is make jokes online, do this podcast, learn about trading. I have a writing job. I have a little bit of a job. I have a job, work that. God damn it, and that's what I do. But this is my life. Coming up with random jokes that will go nowhere, that will be of no use in an actual stand-up setting eventually, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because if it, I'm waiting seeing in 2 weeks if it happens. It being piles of dead bodies of all these protesters and the open micers, then I'll avoid it. But if it doesn't, I'll start to. I think it's time to start reassessing. June might be a time to start reassessing. July for sure. I mean, come on, you gotta move. You gotta pivot too. You gotta be nimble. You gotta be nimble. Things could change. You never know. Anyways, I got sidetracked by the by believing all women. I'm just kidding. No. Talking about believing all experts. Yes, the scientific method. Scientific method. Scientific method is dope. Okay? Scientific method, I don't know it. I mean, I don't know it by heart. I don't know it, but I know that it works because that's how I'm doing this. I got the podcast, I got the iPad, I got marijuana, all of it. Science. Hooray! It works. Okay? It works because of the method. The method is self-correcting. Keeps going and going and going. It's fine. Consensus is a whole other thing. Scientific consensus. Because scientific consensus, one day at a time, was that cigarette was good for you, and one day at a time that it was fats that were bad and sugar that was good for you, right? And one day it was scientific consensus that the Earth was flat. One day it may be again. We don't know. We may be in the middle of a flat cycle of the Earth. Okay, goes from flat to round to flat. We don't know, but consensus changes, right? So consensus changes because that's the crowd. Just because they're all smarty pants doesn't necessarily mean they're all right. Right? That's it. That's a tough thing to swallow right now. And I think a big reason it's a tough thing to swallow is because we're all kind of suffering. Sort of, we all accepted, made the social compact. We were like, social contract. Anyways, we were all like, okay, we're gonna go inside. We're gonna shut things down because of the health, protecting the abuelitas, protecting the vulnerable. We're protecting it. We don't want to overwhelm the hospitals. We don't want to overwhelm the healthcare. We did it. We're inside. This is like that guy went viral. He was like, we did it, but now what? But then nothing happened. What's gonna happen now? We did what you asked. Okay, so that we're there now. We're here now. We're at a point where we did what you asked. So now's the time where we start examining the data. And if the data isn't going the way we thought, what we see is going on is the expert class being like doubling down and being like, no, it's going to happen. It's either going to happen, or sometimes there's questionable fabrications where they're showing like footage of Italy and trying to pass it off as the United States, or or just they're just making it seem like perhaps it's a bigger thing than it is. Is it? I don't know. It's hard. You can't trust the media because they're all involved in just roast battling Trump. And part of roast battling Trump is to show that it's a fucking disaster out here because of him. And then also if there's a depression, it's because of him, right? The only thing is that's gonna fucking backfire. And they don't understand that. They just don't understand that. But whatever. Hey, I don't know. I've given up on the Blues, given up on the Reds. I never were on board with. Just, fucking both. Yeah, that's what I say. Fuck them both. Okay. Anyways, so consensus is actually just like the measure of all the scientists put together saying that, yes, this is that. So that's like climate change, right? The consensus is that climate change is anthropogenic, and that it's happening because of that. And, but is the science out 100%? No, it's not. And there are people who disagree. So does it mean that the consensus is right? Does it mean that the people who are against it are wrong? No, it doesn't. The probability is that the consensus is right because that's just numbers. right? But consensus has been wrong, and that's the nature of science. That's why the method is the method. That's why that's possible. So it's not consensus. Consensus is only important because the method works. If there was no method, it's just religion. That's what religion is. Religion, right? Or just anything, any cultural, political thing where everybody believes a certain thing. That's all it is, propaganda, right? You just believe it because you do, and you do. There's no way of actually proving it using any kind of metric like the scientific method, which is how we have all this cool stuff, right? That's why we got it. That's why we're gonna beat the virus. That's why we're gonna be okay because we got all the cool stuff. Because stuff's not going away. The stuff, it's just how we get the stuff needs to change. We gotta fix all that, but the stuff itself will be here. Ingenuity, the progress, the thing, the singularity. It's all coming. It's fine. Hey, singularity is a good sell now with the pandemic, right? We probably, I guess, we would all be sort of immune once we were all digitized. I guess though, then we would have to worry about virus like computer viruses. Wouldn't it be crazy if there was like computer virus that could become a real virus and then become a computer virus again? Okay, anyways. I feel like there should be a manga or something, or should I write this? Maybe I'll write it. I'll try to write this. I don't know. I'm not really a writer per se. I'm more of a talker. I talk, and I joke, and I kid. Maybe now I'm becoming serious author. Maybe now they're coming for me. The black helicopters. I don't know if you can hear them. They're overhead. They're coming. They know I have got the documents. People are saying Alex Jones, he went on a ranting, raving thing about how he would eat his neighbors. You think I won't? I'll eat his ass. And then they're like, see, and then they're also this weird strain of like saying he's a white supremacist and then cannibalism is a part of it. That's a thing going on. But God bless people. They believe what they believe, and I don't. What am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? I'm just a jester. This guy. No, it's okay. Listen, that's like, dude. Make people feel patriotic. And how do you do that? How do you guarantee? Laughter is a thing that happens. It has nothing to do with like an ideology or you know what I mean. Laughter is not based on I believe this and I love my country. It's like an animal thing. It just comes out. I'm just trying to pull it out of you, right? Because of incongruities and fucking just being a jackass, right? I was basically like, look, I don't go to where you work and knock the dick out of your mouth, right? Because that's the George Carlin joke. That's a George Carlin thing he said to a heckler. Or it's a common street. It's a common street joke, whatever. But he was just like, you should make people feel better and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, man, I'm a jester. The jester's job is not to glorify the crown. You know what I'm saying? The jester's job is to tread the line. He might lose his head. He might. Just make fun of everybody. Make fun of everybody if I can, do things that polite society cannot do. Which I suppose is what I'm doing, and which is why I have no money. Okay. Good times. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Virgin Kimcast. I think that, look, there's murder hornets, but they've always been around. Didn't you see Planet Earth? They were featured on Planet Earth. Planet Earth, not a big deal. They're like giant Asian. Okay, now they're Asian. Okay, guys. All right. Okay, guys. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I mean, places are opening up. It's gonna run through. The people who are gonna die are gonna die. Unfortunately, and maybe that's just what needs to happen. Just like with the Fed pumping money into the markets, unnecessarily buying up bad businesses and debt and all that stuff. When really they probably should let a lot of the unhealthy die. That's what's happening with the coronavirus, and maybe it's not so bad. I mean, maybe people are gonna dig this up and say I'm some kind of biofascist or something. I was calling for genocide of the ableist. Ableist, disabled genocide, like a ableist genocidal person or whatever. But that's not what I'm saying at all. See, they'll cut this part out. I'm not advocating for that at all. That's the part they'll cut out and not have in context. I am not saying that. They'll cut this part out too. They don't have to cut every part out. They just cut it from there. You know how it works. Anyways, what I'm saying is that the virus, we have no choice. We have no vaccine. It's going to run through the population. We're trying to stop the speed of it. That's what flattening the curve is about. But it's running through. Okay? It's doing what it does. That means we already know who's vulnerable. We already know who's at risk. Thankfully, it's not children. Thankfully, it's not young people. Thankfully, it's old people. But it's people at risk, people with diabetes, people with underlying conditions, people who already are a little bit on the tail end of the herd in the Darwinian sense. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that is what happens. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Okay, and should happen with businesses, in the markets, to weed out the bad stuff. But no, the Fed's propping it up. The Fed's doing what we wish we could do, what we have done biologically, which is prop up a lot of sick people. Right, prop them all up without providing them health care, but give them a lot of good sugary foods, and I don't know. Let's see what happens. So that's not necessarily a good thing. I know, it's a lot of death and destruction. But imagine when they were. All right, I'll stop. Just about to go ahead. But no, really, imagine that it's everything comes with death and destruction. That's the thing. If you really pay attention, if you really, really pay attention, you could see the fucking carnage where the selling bullets. Fucking emissions, everything, fucking plastic choking the seas, everything, the fires, everything. So it's unending. The thing is, as human beings, and especially human beings who live in civilized manner, meaning in millions clustered together, demanding and devouring just untold amounts of food and resources, and just putting out waste and just like um, there is no innocent person there. We're all part of it. We're all part of this giant machine, and God bless us. We're on top of the world, guys. We're at the top of the heap. We're on top. We're when the roller coaster goes all the way up, all at the top. We're up almost at the top, and you can see everything. And it's almost like you're weightless. We're there. It's a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful moment. We're gonna look back on so many golden ages. There's gonna be so many golden ages to look back on. Golden age of open mics. Golden age of just housing loans. A golden age of driving your car smoking weed. You're not gonna be able to do that soon. You're gonna have all these fucking electric noses and shit. It's the technology's gonna catch up and take away our freedom. I think we gotta relish the time we have, the golden age. This is a golden age we're living in, everybody. I think we should really enjoy it, and love the people in your lives. Love each other. Love yourself. Okay? Who cares about the president's Twitter? Who cares? Okay? Care about your family. Care about the people in your lives. Care about your doggy. Okay? Anyways, thank you for listening. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Instagram. Find me on Facebook. Find this podcast on YouTube, Stitcher, Instagram. YouTube, Spotify, Google. Why do I even do this? All right.